Hello everyone! So people have been asking me, Argent, we love your DSP videos. You bring a different perspective to it. Could you do a Let's Endure dissecting the latest Wish I Had Good News, Help Needed business update for January? And I'll do these from time to time. I mean, people seem to really like my DSP quality content. They kind of appreciate the different perspective I bring to it. I don't just kind of, some people will just do compilations or whatever, but they tend to like my analysis. And, well, I don't want to just be a detractor channel, which is why I only do these periodically if something big happens, a bunch of people ask me, or if I've done like a bunch of other stuff in between, just because I don't want that to be what my channel's known for. But yeah, people have been asking for it, so without further ado, this is DSP's plea to you, the viewer. He just doesn't know what he's gonna do anymore. So let's see.
What is up, everyone? DarkSidePhil here, and this video is separate from everything else. I wanted to do it as a separate video, so that way it's not.
What does that even mean?
Preview or something else, because it's a very, very important video.
I guess it means he's not going to put it as one of his daily vlogs. I don't know.
Guys and gals, the viewers, abreast of the situation of what's been going on with myself and my YouTube business.
All right, let's do 1080, 60 frames per second.
Because of YouTube changes and the things that YouTube has changed in the past 6 to 8 months on YouTube, completely changing view algorithms.
Let me turn the speed up a little.
Publicly telling anyone that they were doing it, and now actually completely lying to the public, saying that they don't know what the change is, even though big YouTubers, the biggest YouTubers, much bigger than me.
I mean, Google and YouTube fucks up a lot. We all know that. This is why you don't base your business on someone else's business, which is deeply flawed.
Those big guys, when they're getting hundreds of thousands of views on every video.
I mean, let's dissect this a minute. His entire business was basically based on showing up in YouTube search because of how many total views his channel had. His content is not really something you can port to another channel. He has his fans and they gradually decline, but it never really grows. But his entire business is based on a website not changing.
Making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to millions of dollars a year. Oh no, they lost 10 to 20% of their business. Well, just means that, you know, they can't afford.
A lot of those people have, those people have expenses. You don't have any, but a lot of them like have staffs. A lot of them have special effects. A lot of them have expensive stuff to do.
When all of a sudden in the middle of 2016, somehow my views plummet out of nowhere.
Yeah, because you canceled Project 7. I think that was last year. And there was the Rage Quit. You Rage Quit Persona 3. You Rage Quit a bunch of things. You jerked off on stream.
And I'm going to tell you about the things that I've been doing behind the scenes to try to keep everything working, keep it afloat. In fact, I'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on back home in Connecticut that I have not really revealed at all.
He always acts like he's high on drugs or something. I mean, look at him. He's like I am when I'm fucking manic and I've drank too much coffee.
I'm really making this video today because I'm appealing to you once again for help. I really seriously need your help, just like the first time.
And I mean, Sons of Kojima pointed this out. It doesn't matter how much people give him. His Patreon doesn't even cover his mortgage. I want you to keep that in mind. So if people doubled his Patreon, it wouldn't change the situation. No, you haven't. People told you to go back to Twitch years ago and you didn't. Yeah, I don't know why there's that background echo. It is what it is, nothing I can do, but I digress.
But then something happened, okay.
Yeah, but you didn't do anything to make up for it.
But then people say, well, why don't you just go back?
That was like a week, I remember that.
People say that streaming on Twitch is a profitable place.
Well, how do people make their living on Twitch if it's not profitable? I should do a Twitch channel and just play like Paradox strategy games and just do it to like lecture about it and talk to people. It's not a horrible idea, actually.
I've got people who are cheering with bits in the stream chat every day and participating, and it has been profitable.
Okay, so he got all this income he didn't have before. He got, let's see here.
Two, thank you, because it's actually getting me some extra funds that I desperately need now in order to keep this business.
He had like 600 subs, so that's like $300 a month plus cheers plus ad revenue off Twitch. So it's probably like $500 or $600 extra he's making now.
Say thank you to those who have
and it's growing. That's only after like 2 months of growth.
In the past because you took heed to what I was saying last year when I said, listen, if I don't get extra support from the viewers, that's it. It's over. It's true. If I didn't get that extra patron support,
and I mean, I'm not gonna pause so much. This is such a fucking fraud. Like, it goes from like 1,100 to like 1,300. That's not really that big a difference when you're talking about DSP level of debt. This whole thing is a fucking scam. He's just trying to get more money out of you. I did my video like looking at how much debt, like what Phil's actually in terms of finances. No one fucking knows because he lies about everything.
I probably right now wouldn't be able to do this anymore. So
he wouldn't be able to do it anymore.
Once you guys and gals have helped me out immensely, I want you to know that. Okay.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be doing it anymore.
Security's
Oh, and here's like one of the billion ads he has in this. Well, I put a billion ads in my videos too. That's fine. I don't fucking beg for money like this asshole does. And that's not like people take donations, that's fine. But when you like hold your content hostage, that pisses me off. No, there's lots of stuff you could change.
Guess what would happen? Nothing. I wouldn't get any.
No, I've said this. Get Pandalita to edit your content.
Is that my DSP gaming channel will not show up in search results. So even if, let's say, I played Resident Evil 7.
So why don't you make a second raw gameplay channel? Okay, let's just think of this for a second, kids. Okay, so if he made a second raw gameplay channel and he uploaded even like a quarter of his content, like one of the games he plays a week, just to that channel, that would gradually grow over time, and that would continue. That would be like a nest egg. Like with my channel, back when I had like 20 subs, it was just shit, and it never grew. But now that I have like 2,500, new people are coming in all the time. That's how it works. You reach a critical mass. So he could start doing that. I mean, it's working with KO Gaming. He just never puts shit up there.
Every other YouTuber does. I wouldn't get any extra views. In fact, I would have gone out of business. Because it wouldn't have mattered if I made the change.
So his business is based on spamming.
Because I don't show up in YouTube search anymore.
He doesn't.
It's just true. It's just absolutely true. Because what happened in 2015...
With false copy strikes. And I think that was a douchebag thing to do. But honestly, if your business is based on fucking people accidentally stumbling across your videos, that's probably a bad sign.
Where I would like to not only have highly edited reviews and my year-end series...
Highly edited. I don't do much editing, but I work like 50 hours a week at a professional job, so I think I can be excused for being lazy in that regard.
Over there, I did a Twitch and Chill marathon last week where it was all interactive stuff with both fans and trolls. Ended up being an incredibly entertaining stream. Okay,
this just fucking pisses me off. Like, I work like 40, 50 hours a week. I'm not complaining. I love my job. I'm just saying I work 40, 50 hours a week, and yet I can find a day or two a week if I want to just come home, have an episode of Ask Argent. Just go on, just shoot the shit, answer questions from the chat, talk to people. That's not hard. That's a lot of fun often. A lot of the times your fans or people who like you will come on. And most people would like that kind of interaction. But I guess for Phil, it doesn't give him money, so he doesn't like it. This asshole had to get fucking paid $1,250 to do a fucking montage. I mean, to do, whatchamacallit. Yeah.
Does show up in YouTube search results. We've seen that definitive evidence in 2016 when my video about Homefront the Revolution got almost 1 million views. When my 2 videos about No Man's Sky each got almost 100,000 views. Actually, I take it back. One had over 100,000.
I mean, those were all because they were negative. Why doesn't he just make it into an all-negative review channel and just yell about video games? Negativity is good. Negativity makes money. Yeah, it does.
Any new efforts and new content like montages on that channel, because that's the channel that has the potential to grow. DSP Gaming has no potential to grow anymore. Yeah,
well, that's kind of a bad sign.
It's destroyed. That channel was destroyed by false copyright strikes against it in 2015.
I don't think that was the main reason.
It's going to stay at the same level it is forever because of what happened in 2015.
So you're fucked. Your income will never go up.
Against me in 2015, and I can't fix it.
You can't.
I busted my ass.
Nothing I could do. It is what it is, but I digress.
So, that's one thing I've done.
Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little more. Sorry guys, he kind of rambles. I know I ramble, but this isn't even interesting.
Number 2, behind the scenes of everything going on YouTube, I've been doing something for myself. I own a condo in Connecticut.
Yeah, we know.
That I bought in 2009. I want to say, because I started on YouTube in 2008, and I bought the condo summer of 2009, which allowed me to start filming full time when I wanted to, because I had the space to do it. Not that I was in my parents' house.
Okay, that is true. If you live with your parents, it can be hard. Like if I'm trying to do an edgy video, I don't really want them listening in. So that's fair enough. If you want to do it as your business, you kind of need it your own place.
It's allowed me to have a better setup, my dedicated office. I can stream. I have more control over.
Okay, I'm gonna pause and talk about this when he's done.
Everything is much better for the business here.
Why didn't he move to Texas? I don't know.
Stuck with this fucking condo in Connecticut, which, by the way,
Well,
things have not been going well at all.
whose fault is that?
Everyone caught up on that because I haven't talked about that in a very long time, have I?
No, he talked about it like a week ago. I remember.
I lived there. Then when I moved across the country to Washington State, my aunt was staying there, which was good because my aunt needed to stay. And she was paying me some rent. Now, it wasn't enough to cover the whole cost of the mortgage and the dues and everything that I owe on that condo a month, but it was defraying the cost.
I think he said it was $1,500. How fucking expensive is condos?
And at that point, I could afford it. Keep in mind, this was before the false copyright strikes, before the bullshit that YouTube did in 2016.
1 second, I was talking over that. What was it?
And she was paying me some rent. Now, it wasn't enough to cover the whole cost of the mortgage and the dues and everything that I owe on that condo a month, but it was defraying the cost of it significantly. So maybe there was a few $100s a month that I was losing, and at that point, I could afford it. Keep in mind, this was before the false copyright. Okay,
well, he's technically not losing money because, let's say the condo was like $1,500 a month, and he was only paying $200 on it. That other $1,300 is going into equity for when you resell it. So you're actually not losing money on it. That and like, what kind of fucking condo does he have that's like $1,500 a month? I mean, that's really expensive. I mean, even in terms of Toronto, like I could probably rent for $1,500 American. I could rent a pretty awesome apartment for that much. I mean, my standards are pretty low, but I could rent like a decent downtown apartment, but decent by my standards. And he's in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere in Connecticut. Yeah, I don't get it.
Before the bullshit that YouTube did in 2016, before any of that, I was able to piss away a few $100s a month on a loss for this condo in Connecticut.
It's not a loss, though. It's an investment.
In a few years, after being out here in Washington, that the real estate market in Connecticut would turn around and go back up, I'd be able to sell.
It could be. I don't know. He lies about everything.
I just want to get rid of it, so that's off. I'm not.
Well, it's a stupid idea.
Condo anymore, okay? Which is really significantly financially hurting me every month.
It shouldn't be. Okay, I'm gonna go into this in a minute.
In Washington, right? Sadly, it's the complete and polar opposite. I have not publicly talked about this at all yet. Real estate in Connecticut has tanked.
I doubt that.
The least desirable states in the entire nation.
Well, that's probably true. I wouldn't want to live in Connecticut.
There has skyrocketed, yet all the businesses have left Connecticut. You remember when I worked in Connecticut?
Yeah, because it's a liberal cesspool.
Okay, and that helicopter company had all this support.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I can't fucking take it. We're gonna skip ahead. I don't want to hear his life story again.
Because you've got a very small number of people who are filthy rich living in these rich areas in the hills, and it draws the per capita income up for the state. So the taxes are insanely high.
Yeah, that's what liberal states are like.
High, but no one wants to fucking live there because there's nothing there. So all the home values have fucking plummeted. I'm not even kidding you. This is the truth of the matter, folks. My condo in
I get Connecticut, Massachusetts up a lot.
It's worth, excuse me, less than half of what I paid for it.
I don't believe that for a minute.
It's not even 8 years yet.
No, there's no fucking way that's true.
In 2009. So there's no way I can sell it.
There's no fucking way that's true.
Way more on the mortgage I used to buy it than what I would get if I sold it. And I don't have any money to pay off this mortgage. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, why did you move?
YouTuber, like a lot of these people. Oh,
yeah, but Phil, lots of people pay mortgages who aren't rich.
Condo go away? Sure, here it is for my savings. It doesn't exist.
Wait a minute, how much did you say it was to make it go away?
Or on the mortgage, way more on the mortgage I used to buy it than what I would get if I sold it. And I
did he not pay it down at all over the last 8 years?
You know what I mean? Yeah, if I was a filthy rich YouTuber, like a lot of these people, oh no, I gotta piss away $50,000-$60,000 to make this condo go away. Sure.
He only has $50,000-$60,000 left.
So I've been between around.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so let me think. So he says it's gone down by 50%. Okay, it's less than half. So he's been paying a mortgage on it for 6. Okay, so let me just do some napkin math. Let's say it was $100,000 American. I don't know, that seems reasonable. So he's been paying for, let's just say, $800 a month for convenience sake for the last 8 years. So that would be like, I don't know, $80,000. We'll just say he's paid $80,000. No, that would be too much. Yeah, I don't know if it's only $60,000, then that means he's probably paid off most of his mortgage So if it was like 150 grand when he bought it, and he's paid off like half of that, then he should be able to sell it, and the equity within it should be enough to pay off the rest of his mortgage. I don't know. This whole thing is shady. He must not have paid down any of it over the last 8 years. 8 years is still a long time.
In a hard place. The good news.
Oh, we have another fucking ad. Well, I can't complain. I run them all the time too. But no, this is just bull. As soon as he finishes this, I'm going to explain just how fucking stupid he is.
At least defraying the cost every month. Well, guess what, ladies and
Well,
gentlemen?
it's not defraying the cost. You're making money.
My aunt sadly is not doing so well. Right now, she's in assisted living. She couldn't live in my condo anymore by herself because she kept getting hurt.
That's how dirty it was. She tripped over the statues.
Because my parents are now getting older. They're getting elderly to the point where they can't be there and be...
And you're going to go push them down the stairs and inherit their money.
I'm responsible if, let's say the toilet leaks. I'm responsible to make sure the deck gets taken
That's not how it works, Phil.
If I rent it out and all of a sudden the renters that I'm renting it to are noisy at night...
No, that's not how it works.
I'm responsible for holding them accountable and kicking them out, and I can't do that because I don't live it.
No, that's not how it works. I'm going to explain why this is bullshit.
The condo is there and I'm stuck with it. I'm getting no money whatsoever anymore for this condo. And I can't get rid of it. I can't rent it because I don't live there anymore. My parents can't do that kind of work for me. Okay, they can't be renters there. That would be ridiculous for me to expect them to be like these fucking people who are going to take care of the condo. That's so ridiculous and unrealistic and not fair. Okay. So right now, I'm not even kidding you. Right now, having this condo in Connecticut that I can't sell, and I'm getting no.
Okay, let me explain this. Okay, so there are these groups. A lot of people, you would be surprised. A lot of people have this issue where they own property in multiple places in the country and they can't fly across every time there's a problem. I know it's hard to believe. I know, like, it's difficult to imagine this. There are these things that exist called property management companies. And what they will do is they'll set a rent, they'll find renters for you, they'll take care of whatever bullshit, they'll take care of maintenance, they'll take care of anything other than major renovations. And what they will take is a percentage of the rent. Now, I know someone who owns some property in Detroit, the suburbs of Detroit, and, like, he bought the houses there for, like, $60,000. And these weren't houses in, like, a bad part of Detroit. What happened was people took out mortgages, like Phil, that were way above the actual value of the house. And when the property market collapsed and they lost their jobs, they couldn't pay it back. So these houses they bought for like $300,000 or whatever are now worth 60 grand. So he bought those, and most of them were okay. They just needed maybe a new floor and some paint and just kind of some guys to go in and spruce it up a bit. So he's renting it for like $2,000 a month for the whole house, or maybe it was like 15, 16. It's a substantial amount of money. And there's a property management company. They handle finding the tenants. They handle collecting rent. They handle everything. And they think they take like a 10 to 20% of the rent. And the rest of it goes to pay the mortgage. So, like, this is how it works. So let's say the mortgage is like $1,000 a month. I don't know how much mortgage. It depends on your mortgage. Let's say the mortgage for it is $1,000 a month. You're getting $1,500 a month in rent. The management company takes, I don't know, $200 of that. So then you get $300 cash, and the rest goes to pay the mortgage. Now you might say, well, that's only $3,000. That's only $300 you're making. But Rog, you're making $1,300 because you bought the house with money that you didn't have. You bought it with loan money. So by the time, like, you could just leave that for like a decade or two, the mortgage will be paid off, and you can sell that house for probably at least the amount of the mortgage. So let's say the mortgage was for $100 grand. You own the house, and even if you're just breaking even on it, the rent just covers the mortgage payment. In 10 years, you can sell it for $100 grand. But this is property, and property always over a lengthy period of time goes up in value. So that house might be worth $300,000 now. So you can sell that house. So what Phil could do is he could hire a property management company. Even if they took 50%, which is pretty high, that would still be better than nothing. I mean, given the amount of money he seems to have left on it, and given what his mortgage payments probably are, property management company would probably he probably could get it to the point where it's about break even. where he's not really losing or gaining any money on it, but his mortgage gets paid down, and then he just waits a couple years and then sells it. At least in that time, he would be able to cover most of the costs of it and wait till the property market goes up, back up, because property markets always go back up. They don't always go back into a super hyperinflated bubble, but they have to recover because people need a place to live. But I'm just someone who doesn't even work in finance, but I don't run a business. If I ran a business, then I would understand these things. I also just find it interesting. That's what I'm talking about. $1,500 a month. What the fuck? Well, why didn't you?
What I've been doing behind the scenes of everything is I'm trying to sell the fucking thing. Now, here's the bad news about that. Well, here's the good news about it. The good news is it is possible to sell it what's called as a short sale. Now, I give you a little bit of real estate lesson here because I used to be in real estate. I actually used to do mortgages and all this. I know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, yeah, he did.
You take a mortgage company, okay? So the company that holds the mortgage on my condo in Connecticut, and basically you contact them and explain to them, listen, I'm in a situation of hardship. When I bought this condo, it was worth this much. Now it's worth this much, right? I was making this much money being a YouTuber back then. Now I'm making this much because things have completely changed on YouTube. I used to be able to rent it. Now I can't rent it anymore. Like all these things show all these factors. And basically what you need to do is convince the mortgage company to accept a way lower amount of money for...
DSP tries it defrauding a bank.
Okay. Now normally they wouldn't do it. But
now you can like or dislike the banks, but I mean he did have a contract with them. He put himself in this situation. I don't know.
And it's ridiculous. It's like a really disastrous situation in the state. So in a lot of cases,
well, why did you move? I don't know.
Anyway, these mortgage companies are saying, well, we can either take this lesser amount of money or we can just have this person stop paying us all together, to which case we have to spend a bunch of money to foreclose on the property and get it back, which is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, what was the point of that when we could have just accepted this lump sum of money of what they were offering us, all right? So what I'm doing right now, I'm in the process of trying to sell the condo in Connecticut for way lower than what I paid for it and way lower than what I owe on it, but convincing the mortgage company to take way less money so that I can get that going. Now, the good news is, if this works, it could take months. I'm in the process of it right now, and I'm told like the earliest we could possibly get this done is like May, okay? If this works, that's a good...
So we're going to rush sell it and not try to get a good price.
I don't have to pay.
Okay.
My God, that would tremendously...
Did he even list it at an acceptable price? Let's see if anyone wanted to buy it. Probably not.
So it's kind of like a, wow, great if it works out, but you know, it's not a guarantee. The other thing about it, and this is the big negative about it, apparently it's going to kill my credit. My credit right now isn't great because I already have so much debt in my name from the move out here, all the things I've had to do over the past...
Kids, I've said this before and I say it again. As soon as you can, get a credit card and start using it to pay for stuff. This is a message to my younger viewers. Get a credit card, start using it to pay for stuff. But just make sure you have an online bank account and you pay off your credit card every month. And if you do that, it will start building your credit score. And if you start doing that when you're really young, I don't know, like even 12, 13, 14, by the time you're in your 20s, your credit score will be a lot better. And if you get like a couple loans that you know you can pay off, maybe like you take a student loan, but you have the money anyways, and then you just immediately pay the student loan off before they charge interest on it, that helps your credit score. And that affects how much money you can borrow later, but more importantly, it affects the interest rate. If you have an excellent credit score, then the bank or whoever won't charge you much interest on a car loan or a mortgage or whatever, because they expect you to be able to pay. If you're like Phil and you can't pay for shit, then they give you a punishingly high interest rate to try to get their money out of you before you inevitably default. Just a little bit of personal finance there. And I'm not a personal finance genius. I'm just, these are basic things. What? No, he bothers with it every day.
My credit's not good already. Now, if I do a short sale, now my credit's probably going to tank. And I'm really concerned because later this year, for example, another thing that we're doing to try to cut corners here and really cut costs, the car we have now is ridiculously expensive. We're not doing it anymore. We can't do it anymore. The only reason that I got the car that I have now is because we moved here in the middle of 2014 and the lease on that car didn't end for another 6 months. And they told me if I were to turn the car in early on the lease, I would owe them thousands of dollars in penalties, which I didn't have. So I had to basically take a new car. It's kind of like, it was almost like blackmail, really. $1,000 in penalty.
Thousands of dollars in... How much was he leasing this car for? If ending it would have been $4,000 in penalties, that would imply that leasing it would be more than that. So, 6 months? Like, I don't know. I don't know really what to say about that. I guess, like, if he had have waited 6 months, the lease would have ran out of his car and he could have tried to find a buyer for his condo or at least set it up to rent. These are all things that probably could have been pretty easily taken care of. It's not like if he didn't move that day, then... I guess John Rambo and Howard were going to break his kneecaps over Project 7. That's my guess.
For 3 years, which is what I did, but now here I am 3 years later, and I'm in a situation where I can't even afford that car anymore.
Well, why did he take an expensive Beamer? If I get a car, which I don't really want to get a car because there's no reason to drive in Toronto. But I'd get a Hyundai, like a Elantra, a nice little car that's not too expensive.
So I'm going to go to a car dealership and say, well, I got rid of this super expensive car, I need something way more reasonable. Great. All right, here it is. And then we go to do the credit to do the loan for it, and they say, well, your credit sucks, so now we can't approve it for the loan.
Why don't you just lease it?
Leanna can't get to work, right? Leanna can't get to and from work, so she can't make any money to help contribute to any bills or anything anymore. I obviously can't go out to do stuff for the business. It's ridiculous. Like, this is the situation we're in right now. It's just so tight and fucked up. And there's so many factors going on in the back of my head. So I want you guys and gals to understand something.
He could solve this. I've talked about how he could solve this.
It has nothing to do with you, and it really has nothing to do with YouTubing or gaming or anything. All that stuff is still great. You didn't notice this month of January was great. This month we had the Dark Souls.
No, it really wasn't.
I enjoyed thoroughly going back and replaying that game. I really enjoyed Legend of Zelda.
Okay, let's turn up to speed. This is...
series every year. That was great.
I haven't watched it, but I might actually try watching his Resident Evil playthrough. I tried watching like some of his playthroughs unironically. It's just really fucking boring. I mean, like, you see, this is how you don't play. This is literally all like the freak show shit.
Stress is a factor. Stress absolutely is a factor of health. And the fact that I can't afford to go to the fucking doctor because of all the stuff going on in the background financially.
Okay, that's such bullshit. Okay, he can't afford to go to the doctor. Well, he can't afford not to go to the doctor. Like, if there's a new release coming out and he's gonna, I don't know, let's say on Resident Evil 7 he made like $1,000. Let's say going to the doctor with the medication, the visit is like $250. If he can't record the Resident Evil 7 video, he won't make $1,000. So he needs to spend money to make money. That's just kind of how life works. And it sucks that the American healthcare system is expensive and inefficient. But that's just the kind of way it is. But apparently people who own businesses don't think that way.
Just compiles everything, right?
No, stress does make you sick, but
nothing makes us more satisfied than helping customers succeed with their websites.
Make that website purr, baby.
And we're one of the...
I mean, you could do other stuff when he's sick. He could do some editing. He could optimize his tags. He could. There's all kinds of stuff he could do.
There are things going on YouTube, like I just described, trying to do more edited content for KO Gaming and streaming on Twitch. Those are the changes I've made to try to fix things on YouTube and Twitch to make things better.
Too little, too late, Phil.
I'm trying to short sell my condo. I'm going to get a much cheaper car later this year. That'll hopefully reduce the cost of my life, and therefore it should help.
No, it won't. Your income's going down.
Right now, this is the real important part, all right? Is because YouTube fucked me over. Like, fucked everyone over last year. This month, January, was great, right? If you actually take a look, my views are
no, it wasn't.
On every channel, on KO Gaming, on...
Now, Sons of Kojima dealt with this. Apparently what happened was he unprivated a bunch of videos, and that improves your views, which is really weird. Well, that's positive. That's DS positive.
So everything's saying 2 thumbs up, right? Today I go and check my stats on my Machinima console dashboard, which it is what Machinima does. It takes all the profit, supposedly, from all of my YouTube channels that I'm partnered with them, 3 of them, and it puts them all together into one cumulative total. They're telling me that as of today, now keep in mind, there's only 2 days left in the month, and actually it's staggered by about 3 days, so there's about 5 days left to tally.
What happened to DSP Classics? Did he just never upload any of that stuff
right
again?
Now, for January, I have made thousands of dollars less than last month.
No shit.
Thousands of dollars less than last month.
Well,
sometimes
yeah.
It's like more than a third. More than 33%. So my views are up.
Okay, this guy's such a fucking con artist. Okay, let me tell you guys something. A bit of insider. RPM on YouTube, that is the amount of money you make per 1,000 views. And I know it depends how many ads people watch, yada, yada, yada. But roughly, at least in my experience, it's between $2 to $6, depending on the time of year. In January, it'll go as low as like $150. January, February, the 2 worst months of the year. Summer's okay. December it can go from $5 to $7 depending on the type of quality content you're putting out. I was getting RPMs of like 5, 6, 7 in December, which is fortunately when my DSP video went viral. But yeah, so the fact he's only making 30% less is actually good. So it went down by that.
Oh, even dislikes are up, which means more people are watching because more people are disliking. Of course, all those dislikes are from the Dark Souls playthrough, which we knew was going to happen. Everything is up. My engagement is up. Everything's up from last
How
week.
are more people watching if the views are down? I don't know.
Thousands of dollars less. And this is YouTube. This is what YouTube is doing. What this is telling me, and I'm sure this is what telling everyone who's doing YouTube for a living, we can no longer do just YouTube for a living. It's
Well, yeah.
Because YouTube is
Well,
fucking
I mean, it's for a lot of people.
They're changing the algorithms and not being transparent with us, or they're just so fucking stupid that they can't figure it out.
Well, you shouldn't depend on this for a living.
I mean, how funny was it when they came out with that video, what was it, last month, saying, well, you know, all the big YouTubers are saying that subs are declining.
I mean, I might get fucked at some point and they'll shut me down. I have backups of all my videos. I can just re-upload them. I mean, it would be a pain. But I don't do this for, this isn't my business.
And you're costing people their livelihood. Something that we've done. I've done this for 8 fucking years, and they're gonna tell me I have to stop doing it because they don't know how to fucking run their own business. They fucked it up, and now I'm gonna get fucked over, not them. They should be the ones.
Well, you work for them.
It's totally ass backward here.
Yeah, but you don't produce the technology.
Well, I'm working my ass off.
I mean, I don't want to defend Google because Google does a lot of shit, and YouTube is fucked. I mean, they keep removing functionality and moving shit around. But this is probably bad. I mean, let's assume everything he says is true, which it probably is. I mean, Google and YouTube fuck up all the time. Why would you base your business on that? Why would you base your business on a company that fucks up constantly? I don't know.
But I made way less money. Makes sense, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Makes so much fucking sense.
It does make sense.
So the reason I'm making this video is because I'm being matter of fact with everyone. Unless I can get some kind of miraculous change, or unless I can get more support via Patreon, via an insanely huge increase of views that I don't ever foresee happening, or via... That is
positive. That is DS positivity. My views are never going to go up. I'm fucked. I don't really care. Nothing I can do. It is what it is, but I digress. Yeah, you did.
Just so you know the way it works. You know, this month I earn a certain amount. They don't pay me for 2 more months. So the good news is, this month and next month, I'm good because I'm getting the revenue from the end of the year from like November, December 2016 was decent, so I have enough to pay my bills. If something doesn't change by March, and I get this tiny paycheck that they're claiming they're going to give me compared to what I usually get, I can't pay my bills. Something's going to have to give. You know what I mean? And I don't know what I'm going to do. The only thing I can think of is...
His expenses are a maw. The fact that he can throw like 14 grand a year in from his Patreon and it makes no difference is really profoundly scary.
Since I started this business... from the beginning,
I could pay my rent, electricity, and internet for Oh, this is American. Okay, I could live in like a 1-bedroom apartment. I wouldn't even have to get like a studio or a bachelor for 14 grand a year, and pay my internet.
So you were considering helping me, supporting me, and you want to see me keep doing live streams on Twitch. You like the changes I made that I'm back on Twitch, right? You love that, and you love that I'm now not only doing the raw gameplay on DSP Gaming, but I'm doing more videos for KO Gaming. You want to see that continue. This is, you know, 8 years, and you respect that, and you like that, and you want to see it continue. I need your help. Okay? Just be straight up honest with everyone, all right? And one final thing before we adjourn here. A few people, I don't know if they were serious or not, you always got to question it, right? I question everything now because I've had so many people fuck with me over the years, I don't know who to believe anymore. There's been a few people who have pinged me over the past couple of weeks saying, Phil, you know, you should just have a PayPal donation link. Because every once in a while, people like to just anonymously donate out of nowhere. And you just have a PayPal donation link.
This is amazing. Listen to this.
I can't do it. And I've already explained this multiple times. I'll fully explain it one more time in this video. For tax purposes, it's the worst possible thing you can do. This is from the mouth of my...
The worst thing you can do.
And he's a dean, I'm not even kidding you, he's the head of accounting at a very highly ranked university in Connecticut. He knows what he's talking about.
What the
That's
fuck?
one of the worst possible things you could do. Now,
don't get that guy. Don't get an academic. Just get a normal accountant.
I have a lawyer working for me, and we have our own established finances and a bank account, and we can make a special...
That's not how, like, any business works. I know people who have, like, a dozen employees, and they don't have a lawyer.
That's why a lot of people... I don't understand, Phil. There's this full-time Twitch streamer who goes to Counter-Strike Go tournaments, and they all have this link, and everyone always donates. Why can't you do that? Because that's business for them. For me, my PayPal link is my PayPal link. It's my private stuff. I can't give you that to just send me money. For tax purposes, that's terrible. They would try to audit the fuck out of me. They'd say, you can't.
Okay, like, so literally what he's saying here, and I want to be fucking frank with you, He's saying, I'm too lazy to receive your donations. Because if I receive your donations at the end of the year, I'd have to go and be like, oh, these people gave me like $5,000. I have to like add it up. And that's a lot of work. I mean, I might have to take like 3 hours to add up the $5,000 that people sent me. And that would only be like $1,600 an hour. And I can't do work for $1,600 an hour. I don't even think like CEOs make that much an hour. But I'm not sure. And this is all American, keep that in mind. So it's like 30% more than what I think the dollars are.
I got payments coming in from Patreon, and that's documented. So between those three methods, it all works out well for tax. And by the way, everything is taxed fully like normal income.
No, it isn't.
Gift or whatever. Everything that you guys give me is taxed like normal income. It's not legal to say that, oh, well, someone just sent me a PayPal donation. That's a gift. I'm not paying tax on that. That's illegal. And I can't do that. Okay?
I doubt it is. I think he's full of shit.
Patreon, Twitch, or YouTube, period. So...
Someone, I think it was Fred Fox pointed out, every time he's like made other money, like he was actually making decent money off of Amazon affiliates. Keep in mind, Panda Lee is also working like 30 hours a week at a part-time job. That's like another 13, 14 grand a year.
By the time that this payment comes through from YouTube, that's so fucking low according to what YouTube's telling me right now, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. It's either got to be pledging to my Patreon, alright?
Okay, but he says this like every month. He says, I don't know how to pay my bills, but he always does.
The highest perk level I'll give you is $50. You can pledge more than that if you want.
I mean, either he's more fucked than he says, or he's less fucked than he says. I can't really tell anymore. He just lies about everything.
You can definitively help me out. And of course, if you haven't been watching my videos or my streams, but I don't think that's the problem. When YouTube is telling me your viewership's up, your engagement is up, likes are up, dislikes are up, up. You make thousands of dollars.
What about total of views?
You know what I say? Fuck you. I say fuck
well,
you.
it's ad revenue.
Fuck all those dumb
it's fucking January. What do you expect?
After 8 years of hard fucking work, they don't know how to run their own business, but they don't get fired. I do.
Well, they don't care about you, Phil.
Last year, and they either don't want to fess up or they're too fucking dumb to figure it out. I'm the one who gets fired. So the bottom line is moving forward.
Well, your business is literally just uploading raw video games, which is fine. I mean, if you do that as a hobby and people like it and people give you money, that's great. But you shouldn't count on that as being your fucking business.
Because then he could do the job during the day like he used to, and then he could do YouTube at night. And then he'll have double dipping. He'll have a stable income plus...
Well, that's what I do.
That's not how life works, folks.
How?
It's not how life works.
How is it
If I
not?
have this full-time job, I'm not going to have enough time to be doing this every night anymore. I don't live by myself. I'm not a bachelor. I have responsibilities here with my girlfriend around the house and stuff. I'm not going to have time to do it. So
Come the fuck on.
He's not going to be 1/10 as much as I put into it right now. To
No.
Seems like I do.
No. Okay, fuck this. Okay, he does like 3 hours of gameplay a day. So... like this, like he come home. Let's say maybe he has to commute half an hour, so he comes home at like 5:30. He has some food. He goes up. It's like 6 or 6:30. He streams for like 2 hours. He cuts up the footage and he uploads it. I mean, he could do that. That would be pretty easy. It wouldn't require any more effort. If you wanted to like spend all night working, like you don't have to do this every night. You could maybe like 2 or 3 nights a week, and then both days on the weekends. You could come home, do like 2 to 3 hours of streaming, upload it to your YouTube channel. You keep getting videos up there. You keep making that quality content. On the weekend, maybe you stream 4 or 5 days, 4 or 5 hours. Maybe Saturday you want to stream 4 or 5, and then Sunday it's the Lord's Day, so you just take that off as a day of rest. I mean, he could, like, even if he streamed 3 days a week, that would still be like 9 hours of content. And he would still make money off of that. He'd still make money the other stuff he has up. Maybe he does 1 edited video a week. Maybe he does that on Saturday or Sunday. Maybe like he gets like into a better financial position, and then he goes and starts doing other stuff.
Overnight, I stopped covering every new release. I only cover 2 games a month.
Okay, let's see how many views his videos get.
And the video content that I put out is reduced by 2/3 to maybe 3/4. That's it. Viewers are gonna stop coming. People come for the content. They're not going to just, they say, well, Phil's dried up, then I guess I'm not going to check it out anymore, and I'll go out of business. That's the...
Okay, he puts out like 300 videos.
And
oh, sorry. He puts out like 300. Okay, let's see how this mass content is working for him. Okay, let's see the hot new games. We have pre-stream from yesterday, 600 views. Most of his things from like a day ago have like 500 views. So guys, if he was to reduce it, then his total views would drop. Now, I don't mean to brag, but I get, if I was just to make like a normal reaction review or a normal video, I would get as many views as any of these, as one of these videos in most cases. In some cases, maybe probably a lot less. But the fact that I can even like compare myself to some of his streams should be profoundly disturbing for this man. But he's just really stupid. And once again, that's not how people who run a business think, apparently.
The amount of money, even though the amount of money I'm making now isn't enough to cover my bills because of this bullshit YouTube is doing, it's still more than if I quit all this and went and got a part-time job or 2 part-time jobs.
That's not how life works.
That is, even, I'll be honest here, even the office job that I had when I was in Connecticut, if I went back to that job, it wouldn't be enough to pay my bills right now. It's the bottom line. It wouldn't.
Well, you're fucked then.
Everything that happened with me racking up debt and everything for the business and everything these past 5 years,
okay,
it wouldn't be enough. If I went back to that stable full-time job, it wouldn't be enough. So I have to stay the course. I have to keep doing YouTube. I have to keep playing.
You just said you couldn't anymore.
I love doing. So it's good because even though I'm struggling here and I'm stressed out because of the finances behind the scenes, at least I'm still doing something that I love doing, right? But no,
you obviously don't. Like, this guy sounds miserable. And like, I've made fun of him, but this is really fucking sad. I mean, I actually feel bad for this guy. As big as a douche as he is, as much as he robbed his fans, I mean, this is a man whose life has like collapsed around him. There's no obvious way for him. Well, there is an obvious way for him to get out, and I'll say that at the end, because I actually have a solution to this problem.
Everyone's staring at it like, why? And everyone wanted to point the finger, right? It was Phil, because Phil fucked up because no one likes his content anymore, and this and that. Now we have definitive proof that's not the case, because the whole second half of last year and this month is going up, up, up. Like,
how about like when you stole your fans' money? How about when you insulted them? No, it's nothing's your fault.
I don't like to burden you with this. I don't like to talk about this. I don't.
No, you talk about it every day, though. Every single day.
But it is what it is. So please, if at all,
nothing I can do.
Enjoy what I've done these past 8 years. You want to see me keep doing it as a job? Copyright strikes, and I don't see anything but KO Gaming really taking off. If anything, KO Gaming is the thing. If that could take off like it did last year and stay at that level, I'd be good to go. The problem is, it went up, and then because I wasn't making negative fucking videos about games every single day.
Well, why didn't you do that? That made money.
YouTube loved the negative. If there's a video that says something sucks,
well,
it's worse, it's terrible, it's
you need money. You're desperate. Then do it.
People will watch the shit out of it. But if I make an honest review about a game that I liked, no one watches it.
Okay, then just make a negative review channel. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I can't deal with this shit anymore. He's just repeating himself. Okay, so you want to hear Argent's plan for how DSP can fix his life? Okay, let's do some napkin math. So his house is $250,000. So 250 grand. He claims it's gone up by 50% plus whatever equity he's paid off in the last 3 years. So let me just see here. So that would be like 380 grand. Or let's give him a bit more credit. Let's just say it's gone up to like, God, I'm like, I don't know. Give me a second. My brain is slow today. I'm tired. Let's see here. 250 times 1.5. Let's say it went up to 400 grand and be generous. So his house went up to 400 grand. And yeah, so it went up to 400 grand. And he sells that. He pays off what's left of his mortgage. He said there was 60 grand. Okay, let me just do some math. Okay, so let's say it's worth 375. His mortgage is $220,000. And then he has to pay off his mortgage for his condo. So that'll be another 60. And that leaves him with probably, well, he has to do moving expenses. So we'll take another 20 off. That leaves him with, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 bucks that he can use to pay off everything else. I mean, he could pay off probably all of his other loans doing that. And then he goes and he could rent a bungalow. He doesn't have to go live in like a shack somewhere. He makes enough money. Or he can rent like a condo, or he can live with his full-time girlfriend. Actually, if he paid off the mortgage, he could sell his other condo, or when it has no more mortgage on it, he could just keep all like $1,400-$1,500 a month minus management fees. So he's sitting on the solution to his problem, but he won't do it. And even if you go, well, Argent, it's not going to pay off all of his bills. Okay, let's say he did sell it and he got like, I don't know, an extra 150 grand out of it. Let's say he makes 150 grand. That's 150 grand he can put towards everything. You don't think that would help a lot? Plus, he wouldn't have to make mortgage payments on this anymore. That would dramatically reduce his living expenses, but he doesn't want to solve his problems. This is the frustrating thing about DSP. He's never interested in solving anything. And it's frustrating, like I said, because I would be so happy if I could do like 2 hours a night of YouTube and make like a fifth of what he makes. I could like max out my TFSA. I could max out my RRSP. I would invest the shit out of that money. I would be investing it so much, but that's not how investing the money you make when you're in a highly lucrative, highly volatile business is not what people with business degrees, it's not how they see things. So I hope you enjoyed this. I did this for you guys. I'll talk to you later.